Hey, what's up? Van Clemons here. Welcome to the dungeon. And we are now making our way into the second episode of Storytime Sunday, even though technically it's Monday right now. So, or at least it's Monday where you are. Technically, it's still Sunday for me. But we're going to pick up with the where it all began. And I'm going to jump over here, though, to what I'm going to entitle this one. It's going to be called My Final Decision. And in the first video, I was talking about how my son was rushed to Akron Children's Hospital for what we didn't know at the time was type 1 diabetes. And after going through that whole ordeal and spending like over a week in that hospital, which was brutal because not only did I see my son being extremely ill, but man, you walk through some of the by some of the rooms in that PICU. Whoo, man. I mean, I've seen some brutal shit, but when you see all those other poor little children that are really ill, man, it really fucks with you. You know what I mean? And so I just started, the wheels were fucking turning, and I started thinking about, life and shit, and how you got to just live it up, man, because you just never know when, it's your time to go, regardless of how old you are. So, and it wasn't too long after we were released from the hospital and came home, and I was kind of like, I don't know what to do. I was running around like a chicken with his head cut off. I had got a job, started working, and kind of like put the whole idea of being a musician behind me, for better or for worse, and started doing the work thing. And while I was doing the work thing, it sucked, but I felt like I was doing my part, as a father, as a provider, and which made things were really difficult on us because we were still trying to kind of like break in being at home from being in the hospital and being on that type of schedule. And long story short, things just weren't really working out. And in the process of that, I was sat down by a super really awesome cool person, and she's like, why don't you take into serious consideration going back and doing music again? And I'm like, that's awesome. I just don't see how I can do that outside of, for shits and gigs, because, if something were to ever happen and I did become, relatively successful, I just don't see how I would be able to juggle, kids and diabetes, and then like being a musician and then going on the road. But and it's just a constant struggle every day. You got to constantly watch everything really closely, and through the help of awesome nurses and doctors, an educational nutritionist setting us straight. We've kind of got into a groove, and after we had that talk, I thought about it for a long time, going back and doing music again. This was about a year ago, last June, May or June, when we had that talk. Like I said, 1 week from today, on the 14th, was a year since my son was hospitalized. So within a year, I really got my shit together. I eventually did make my final decision to return to music. I was like, at the very least, it'll be like therapy for me. And because, when you go through such a traumatic experience, to lose, one of your children, as a parent, I can't imagine. I wouldn't put that shit on my worst enemy, So it definitely sucked, and it fucked with me in, every which way you could imagine. mind, heart, soul, mentally, emotionally. Um, so I went back to music, I guess, just as a way to vent, get my mind off of things, and I didn't really expect anything to come from it. And and then not only did a lot come from it, but even more than I had anticipated come from it. And now I'm here sitting and sharing this whole experience with you. But it was really one of those like life altering decisions that I made, and I'm really glad I had that talk. And thank you, Rachel, for setting me on the straight and narrow. You always kind of keep me, you know, on the course. And I'm telling you, without her, man, I wouldn't even fucking be here right now. So, God bless her. And it's just, I'm very thankful and grateful and humble to have had all the experiences that I had, even the really shitty ones, because I feel it has strengthened me. Last year was such a bad year. Holy Christ, was it bad. I mean, I don't want to document all the shit, but man, it was just brutal. And with the winter being brutal, and then it rained for fucking every day, like I was talking about in the last video. And yeah, it was tough. But I feel that really helped me, you know, get a sense of thicker skin, I guess you could say. And, you know, so now and not that life's easy to begin with, but, and I didn't expect this year to be, and I don't expect this year to be any easier, but now with my, you know, crystal clear focus on as what I want to accomplish, I told myself that after making it through all that shit, I could really probably fucking do anything, you know. So my goal, my personal goals, which I'm going to share with you right now, is by next Monday, which is the anniversary of my son going in there and thinking, oh my God, my world's over. I'm definitely done with music. That's not even an option. You know, I'm going to be a stay-at-home dad, which I'm more than proud of. I love my fucking kids, and they come first, family first. And, but with that being said, you know, because I returned to music and I was having so much fun with it, it just kind of overspilled. I ended up doing shows. Ended up, you know, having a great time. People started being like, dude, what the fuck? Why haven't you been doing this before? Where the fuck have you been? You know, what rock did you crawl out of? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just fucking around. So, but with that being said, my personal goal is in this year that all this had happened, you know, I had a lot of great experiences. I played with musicians I've listened to since, I mean, for decades, you know, Mushroomhead, Cottonmouth Kings, Head PE, and then, you know, it all accumulated last month when I played the Twisted Show, which wait till I get to that video, because that's like a fucking 10-parter. I lived the dream of fucking dreams when I had played the Agora Theater. Not the ballroom, the theater. I mean, I stood on the same stage as legends. I mean, Marilyn Manson, Kiss, Pantera, Jesus Christ. Yeah, nothing will ever top that. I don't give a fuck if I'm signed. I don't give a fuck if Eminem wants to do songs with me. I don't give a fuck if I play Madison Square Garden tomorrow. Nothing will ever top playing the Agora Theater. and wait till I get to that story, because that's a motherfucker of a great story. Anyways, not to jump ahead, but all within this year of accomplishing that, and I told myself, well, hey, you know, you got a few songs already recorded. Let's get a full length going, and let's get it all done and recorded by this 1 year marker. So I go from my whole world's falling apart, my son almost died, definitely not going to be a musician, to I lived all these dreams, I played with all these awesome musicians that I've always, have been inspired by. One of the biggest ones being, of course, Mushroomhead. And, just to really show myself that you can do anything if you put your mind to it. And, like I said, you only live once, So here I am, sharing all of it with you. And I tell you what, man, I couldn't be more happy at this point in my life. Even though you're always going to run into bullshit, you're always going to have obstacles, you're always going to step into some shit, But just keep the course, man. Stay focused and have nothing but peace, love, and respect and loyalty, in your heart for everyone that's ever stood by you. And, I'm telling you, you will fucking go places. And I don't care if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a musician, an actor. I don't give a fuck what you want to do. A circus clown. You can be and do and go wherever you want. Just stay focused and have positive thoughts in your mind. Even though I know it's not the easiest fucking thing to do, Life is a shitstorm, man. You gotta just keep moving forward. And that's what I'm gonna do. So, this video has already surpassed 10 minutes. It's been an honor and a pleasure to share this crazy event in my life with you. And I look forward to more of these Sunday story time Sundays with you guys. So, till next Sunday, peace and love. Keep rocking that shit. I'll see you soon.